Hey everyone. I've been sitting on this for a while, trying to figure out if I should even post it. But I need to get it out. Maybe just writing it down will help me process everything. So here goes. I turned 18 last week. And instead of a party or a dinner with my family, I spent the day alone in a house that, legally, now belongs to me. Because my mom? She went on vacation with her new family. Just packed up and left on my birthday without a second thought. And when she came back, expecting everything to be the same. I told her to get out. This house? It's mine now. But things got a whole lot messier than I expected. My dad passed away when I was 10. It wasn't sudden. We had time to prepare, but that didn't make it easier. Cancer does that. It sneaks in, steals the person you love, and leaves you watching helplessly while they fade away. I remember sitting on the floor of his hospital room, clutching his hand while he slept. He was so thin by then, his skin papery and cold. I was just a kid, but I knew. I knew he wasn't coming home. Before he got too sick to talk, he made me a promise. This house is yours, Jake. No matter what happens, this will always be your home. I held on to those words, repeated them in my head like a prayer. But after he was gone, it didn't feel like my home anymore. My mom remarried when I was 12. Steve came with 2 kids, Braden and Emma, and suddenly, it was like she had hit some kind of reset button. Like her old life, my life, didn't exist anymore. I tried to be okay with it. I really did. Steve wasn't physically abusive or anything, but he made it clear I was not his priority. His kids, they took over everything. The living room, the kitchen, even my bedroom started turning into a dumping ground for their junk. I once came home and found a broken scooter propped against my bed. When I asked my mom about it, she just shrugged. There's no space in the garage. That was the moment I realized I didn't really live there anymore. I just existed in the background. So I started spending more time at my grandparents' house. My grandpa never said much, but he saw what was happening. He'd pat my shoulder, hand me a soda, and let me sit with him on the porch while he worked on his old truck. I think that was his way of saying, I know. I got you. A few weeks before my 18th birthday, he sat me down at the kitchen table. Just slid a folder toward me and said, "This house is yours now." Legally, it had always been mine, left to me in my dad's will, but my mom had control of it while I was a minor. Now that I was 18, she had no claim to it. I nodded, trying to act like it didn't really matter. But inside, something shifted. I didn't know what I was going to do with that information yet. I just knew that nothing would ever be the same. The night before my birthday, I was actually feeling kind of hopeful, not expecting anything huge, just something. Maybe a cake, maybe dinner, maybe my mom actually remembering what day it was. Instead, I got this. I was sitting on the couch, scrolling through my phone, when she walked in, lugging a suitcase behind her. Oh, by the way, she said, like she was reminding me to take out the trash. We're leaving tomorrow for a trip. Just me, Steve, and the kids. I blinked. Wait, what? You're leaving. My voice came out flat, but my chest felt tight. Yeah, we've had this planned for months, she said, completely unfazed. You don't mind staying here alone, right? I stared at her. My heart was pounding. Mom. Tomorrow is my birthday. She barely looked up from her phone. Yeah, I know. You'll be fine. Order some pizza or something. I don't even remember what I said after that. Probably nothing. Because what was the point? She just walked away. And that was that. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of suitcases rolling down the hallway. I walked into the kitchen, still half asleep, and there they were, dressed in their vacation clothes, laughing and talking like they hadn't just abandoned me. Steve glanced up from his phone. Oh, look, the birthday boy's awake. I just stood there, gripping the edge of the counter. So you're really leaving? I asked, my voice hollow. Come on, man. Steve scoffed. You're 18. You don't need a babysitter. My mom poured herself coffee like this was just another normal day. We'll be back in a week. She said, grabbing her bag. Don't forget to lock up. And then they were gone. Just like that. I stood in the doorway, watching them pile into the car. They didn't look back. They didn't even wave. They just drove away. I turned back inside. The house was so quiet it felt suffocating. I walked into the kitchen, opened the fridge. A half-empty carton of milk. Some old takeout. A box of frozen chicken nuggets. That was what my mom had left me. I let out a breathless, humorless laugh. Happy freaking birthday to me. Then my phone buzzed. A text from my grandma. Happy birthday, sweetheart. We'll be over soon. Love you. And suddenly, my chest felt so tight I could barely breathe. An hour later, they showed up. Cake, balloons, even a wrapped gift. My grandma pulled me into a hug the second I opened the door. Happy birthday, my boy. And for the first time that day, I actually felt like I mattered to someone. We ate cake in the living room, just the three of us. My grandpa told stories about my dad, about how much he loved me, how proud he would be. And then, just as I was starting to feel okay again, my grandpa handed me an envelope. This is from the lawyer, he said, voice steady. It's official now. The house is yours. I stared at the paperwork inside. My name. My house. And for the first time, I let myself really feel it. They had left me behind. But this house? This house was mine now. And I wasn't going to let them treat me like I didn't exist anymore. The first few hours after my grandparents left, I just sat in the living room, staring at the walls. The cake sat on the coffee table, half-eaten, the balloons drifting lazily in the corner. The house was quiet. Not the usual kind of quiet, a different kind. The kind that felt too big, too empty, too heavy. I should have felt happy, relieved, something. But all I felt was this weird, creeping sense of, I don't know. Like the silence wasn't really silence. Like it was waiting for something. I grabbed my phone and scrolled through Instagram. My mom had posted a picture, her, Steve, and the kids at some fancy resort, all grinning in matching outfits. The caption? Much-needed family vacation. Family. I stared at the word for way too long, my chest tightening. I don't know what I expected. Maybe a throwaway, wish Jake was here. Maybe a single happy birthday in the comments. There was nothing. Just dozens of replies from her friends. Beautiful family. You're such an amazing mom. So happy for you. I locked my phone and threw it onto the couch. I wasn't going to let this get to me. She made her choice. Now, it was my turn. The next morning, I woke up early, made coffee, stood in the kitchen, staring at the empty house. And then I got to work. I started with the living room. Braden's stupid toy cars? Gone. Emma's half-colored princess drawings? Packed up. Steve's ugly leather recliner that he always told me not to sit in? I dragged that thing straight to the garage. Next was the kitchen. Their snacks, their cereal boxes, their stupid, world's best dad mug that Steve drank from every morning like some kind of joke. All of it, out. By the time I got to my room, I was already running on pure adrenaline. I threw open the door and just stood there, taking it all in. Steve's kids had completely taken over my space. Boxes shoved in the corners. Their old clothes dumped on my chair. The broken scooter still leaning against the wall like a final middle finger. And my bed? Pushed into the corner. Like an afterthought. Like I was an afterthought. Something inside me snapped. I grabbed the scooter and shoved it out into the hallway. Clothes? Trash bag. Random junk? Gone. By the time I was done, I could actually breathe in my own room again. I sat on my bed, staring at the empty space around me, and for the first time in years, it felt like mine. Then my phone buzzed. A text. Mom. Hey. Just checking in. Everything okay? I read it 3 times, my jaw tightening. She didn't ask about my birthday. She didn't say she missed me. She didn't even pretend to care. Just checking in. Like I was some stranger she used to know. I didn't even think. I just started typing. Yeah. Everything's fine. Oh, by the way, you don't have to rush back. You don't live here anymore. I hovered over the send button. My heart was pounding. Then, before I could overthink it, I hit send. I expected a call. An immediate response. Maybe even some dramatic, all-caps rant. Instead, nothing. An hour passed. Then 2. Then, finally 3 little dots appeared on my screen. I held my breath. Then the message popped up. Jake, be serious. We'll talk when we get home. I let out a short, humorless laugh. She still thought this was temporary. She still thought she could just walk back and like nothing happened. I wasn't going to let that happen. The next few days were weird. I kept waiting for something. A call. A text. A surprise visit. Something. But nothing came. I focused on cleaning the house, rearranging my room, reclaiming my space. It helped. At least, for a while. Then, on the 5th day, my phone rang. I saw my mom's name on the screen and exhaled slowly before answering. Hey, I said, keeping my voice even. Jake, she said, and I could already hear the irritation creeping in. Steve, and I just landed. We'll be home in an hour. I closed my eyes for a second. Mom, you're not coming back. A pause. Jake, don't do this. We need to talk in person. There's nothing to talk about. The house is mine now. You don't live here anymore. That's ridiculous. She snapped. I'm your mother. This is my home. I clenched my jaw. No, it's not. You haven't treated it like home in years. You treated me like I didn't belong here. And now you want to act like this is some kind of betrayal. Silence. Then, softer, where are we supposed to go? And there it was. It wasn't about me. It was never about me. She didn't care that she abandoned me on my birthday. She didn't care that I spent years feeling like a stranger in my own house. She just cared that she had nowhere else to go. My grip tightened on the phone. You should have thought about that before you left me behind. Her breath hitched. Jake, you don't understand what you're doing. No. I said quietly. I finally do. And then I hung up. The moment I set my phone down, my hands started shaking. Not from fear. Not even from anger anymore. From adrenaline. I had actually done it. But something told me this wasn't over yet. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, my mind racing. My body felt wired, like I had just downed 3 energy drinks, but I wasn't excited. I wasn't relieved. I was waiting. Because I knew my mom wasn't going to let this go. And I was right. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of tires in the driveway. I sat up too fast, my heart slamming against my ribs. My phone was already in my hand before I even realized I was gripping it. I pulled back the curtain just enough to see outside. Her car. She hadn't even waited a full day. My stomach twisted as I spotted Steve in the driver's seat, looking pissed, his hands gripping the wheel like he was barely holding himself back. And my mom? She was already halfway up the front porch. The knocking started before I even had a chance to move. Bang, bang, bang. Jake. Open the door. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. Bang, bang, bang. Jake. I swear to God, if you don't open this door. I took a slow breath, forcing my hands to stop shaking. Then, without thinking, I reached out and locked the deadbolt. A pause. Then, her voice, lower now. You think this is funny? I swallowed hard, my throat dry. Jake. Open. The damn door. Her tone was controlled, clipped. The way she used to sound when I was a kid and had done something to embarrass her in public. Not quite yelling, but close. But I wasn't a kid anymore. I didn't owe her anything. I grabbed my phone and dialed my grandpa. He picked up immediately. Jake. She's here. A beat of silence. Then we're on our way. I exhaled shakily, my grip tightening on the phone. Grandpa, she's not leaving. For the next 10 minutes, my mom stood outside, alternating between pounding on the door and calling my phone. I ignored every single call. Then, a new voice joined hers. Steve. Come on, kid, you're being ridiculous. I rolled my eyes. Kid. They always did that. Always talked down to me, like I was some spoiled little brat throwing a tantrum instead of an 18-year-old who owned a damn house. I didn't answer. Instead, I paced the living room, heart pounding, waiting for my grandparents to get here. Then, finally, another car pulled into the driveway. I let out a breath of relief. A few seconds later, my grandpa's voice cut through the morning air. You need to leave. I stepped back toward the window and watched as he got out of his truck, his face unreadable. My grandma was right behind him, arms crossed tightly over her chest. My mom turned to face them, her expression shifting. The fake sweetness came first. Dad, she said, forcing a smile. This is all just a big misunderstanding. No, Lisa, Underscore, my grandpa said flatly. Underscore, it's not. The house belongs to Jake now. You don't live here anymore. Underscore. I could see the exact moment the fake act cracked. Her face twisted. Underscore, you're really taking his side? Underscore. My grandpa didn't blink. Underscore, I'm taking the legal side. You know you have no claim to this house. Underscore. Steve scoffed. Underscore, this is bullshit. Underscore. Underscore, no. Underscore, my grandpa said, voice steady. Underscore, bullshit was what you pulled for the last 6 years. Underscore. Steve's jaw tightened, but he didn't say anything. My mom, though? She stepped forward, her whole body tense. Underscore, where are we supposed to go? Underscore, she demanded. Underscore, what about the kids? Underscore. Something inside me snapped. I yanked open the front door. Underscore, you should have thought about that before you treated me like I didn't exist. Underscore. She turned to face me fully now, her eyes narrowing. But I saw it. Panic. Not because she was sorry. Because she was losing control. Underscore, Jake, come on. Underscore, she tried, voice softer now. Underscore, we're family. Underscore. I clenched my jaw so hard it ached. Underscore, no, Mom. We're not. Underscore. For a second, just 1 second, something flashed across her face, something almost like shock. Like she hadn't expected me to actually say it out loud. Then, just as quickly, it was gone. Underscore, fine. Underscore, she said, voice tight. Underscore, if that's how you want to play it. Underscore. She turned on her heel and walked back to the car. Steve shot me one last glare before following. I expected them to leave, but they didn't. They sat there, in the car, just watching. Minutes passed. 5, 10. My grandparents stood beside me in the doorway, waiting, just as confused as I was. Then, my mom finally started the engine. I exhaled, relieved. But before pulling away, she rolled down the window. And she smiled. Not a warm smile. Not a sad smile. A knowing smile. Underscore, this isn't over, Jake. Underscore. And then they were gone. The second their car disappeared down the street, I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. My grandpa put a hand on my shoulder. Underscore, you okay, kiddo? Underscore. I nodded, but my stomach felt wrong. Because I knew she meant it. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. And I had no idea what was coming next. I wanted to believe it was over. That they'd finally gotten the message and moved on. But deep down, I knew better. Because my mom wasn't the type to let go. She was the type to wait. To plot. To strike when I least expected it. And she did. 3 days passed. The house felt different, lighter. I could breathe again. No Steve stomping around. No Braden's toy cars scattered across the floor. No Emma whining about literally everything. For the first time in years, it actually felt like my home. But even with the silence, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was coming. Like a storm sitting just beyond the horizon. And then, on the 4th day, the first letter arrived. It was sitting in the mailbox when I got home from the grocery store. No return address. Just my name on the front, scrawled in my mom's handwriting. I stared at it for a long time before picking it up. My hands felt weirdly numb. My heart was pounding. I already knew it wasn't going to be an apology. Still, a stupid part of me hoped. I tore it open. Jake, you're making a huge mistake. You don't understand what you're doing. This house isn't really yours. We need to talk before this goes any further. I read it twice. Then a third time. And my blood ran cold. This house isn't really yours. What the hell did that mean? I sat at the kitchen table, the letter in front of me, my mind racing. She was bluffing. She had to be. My dad left me this house. Legally, it was mine. My grandparents had gone over all the paperwork with a lawyer. There was no mistake. So why was she acting like I had taken something that didn't belong to me? I pulled out my phone and texted my grandpa. She sent me a letter. A few seconds later. What does it say? I hesitated before snapping a picture and sending it. The typing bubbles appeared almost immediately. Then disappeared. Then appeared again. Finally, a response. Ignore it. She's trying to scare you. I let out a breath. Right. That's all this was. A mind game. I crumpled the letter and tossed it in the trash. I wasn't going to let her get to me. But deep down, something nagged at me. What if she was up to something? What if she actually had a plan? A few days later, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. I frowned. Then I opened it. You can't keep us out forever. My stomach dropped. I stared at the screen, pulse pounding in my ears. Then another message popped up. A photo of my house, taken from outside. I nearly dropped my phone. My skin went ice cold. Someone had been here, watching me. I shot up so fast my chair nearly tipped over. My heart was slamming in my chest as I ran to the front window, yanking back the curtain. Nothing. The street was empty. No cars, no people. But I felt it. Someone had been here. I grabbed my phone and called my grandpa. Jake. He answered on the second ring. She's messing with me. I said, voice tight. She sent me a picture of the house. Someone was outside. Silence. Then, his voice, calm but serious. Lock your doors. I'm on my way. By the time my grandpa got there, I had double-checked every lock, window, and door in the house. My pulse was still racing, my hands clammy. Let me see the messages. He said as soon as he stepped inside. I handed him my phone, and he scrolled through the texts, his face unreadable. You think she was the one outside? I asked. He exhaled slowly. Could be. Could be Steve. Could be someone she sent. He looked up at me. But this? This is intimidation. She's trying to scare you into giving up. I swallowed hard. What do I do? My grandpa's face hardened. You stand your ground. You don't let her win. I nodded, gripping my phone so hard my knuckles ached. He was right. I wasn't going to back down. But a part of me couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. The texts kept coming. The letters, too. Each one more aggressive than the last. You're ruining this family. You'll regret this. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into. But I never responded. I never let her get to me. Until the final message came. The one that made my blood run ice cold. A photo of my dad's old office. The locked storage cabinet, pried open. And inside, the safe, wide open, empty. My breath caught in my throat. Because I had never opened that safe. I had found it a while ago, tucked away in the basement, hidden behind a stack of boxes. I never had the combination, and I figured whatever was inside wasn't mine to mess with. But now, someone else had opened it. And whatever was inside was gone. A single message followed the photo. You should have listened. I felt sick. What the hell had they taken? What had been inside that safe? And more importantly, what were they trying to hide? That was the moment I realized this wasn't just about the house anymore. This was about something bigger. Something my mom didn't want me to know. And I was going to find out exactly what that was. No matter what it took. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at my phone, my heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. The picture of the safe was still on the screen, the door swung open, the inside completely empty. I had never opened it. So who had? And more importantly, what had been inside? I forced myself to take a slow breath. Then another. My hands were shaking as I texted my grandpa. They got into the safe. His response came almost immediately. I'm coming over. Don't do anything stupid. 20 minutes later, my grandpa was standing in my living room, holding my phone, his face set in a hard line. No sign of a break-in? He asked. I shook my head. Windows were locked. Doors were locked. Nothing's missing. Except whatever was in that safe. He exhaled sharply. They had a key. The thought made my stomach turn. Because if they had a key, it meant they planned this. Do you know what was in there? I asked. My grandpa hesitated. Then, finally, he sighed. Your dad kept important documents in that safe. I don't know everything, but I do know he was careful with it. Whatever was in there, it mattered. My skin prickled. Because if my dad had kept something locked away all these years, and my mom had gone out of her way to steal it, then it wasn't just important. It was dangerous. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying everything in my head. The letters, the texts, the photo, the way my mom had smiled when she said, "This isn't over." I should have known she meant it. At around 2 a.m., I gave up on sleep. I got out of bed, grabbed a flashlight, and headed down to the basement. If my dad had secrets, there had to be something else down there. I started digging through old boxes, shifting through old papers. Nothing seemed important, just tax documents, some old family photos, random junk my dad never threw out. But then, at the very bottom of a dusty file cabinet, I found something. A manila envelope with my dad's handwriting on it. It just said one thing. For Jake. My breath caught in my throat. Hands shaking, I tore it open. Inside were legal documents. And as soon as I started reading, my entire body went cold. Because these weren't just legal papers. They were ownership records. To the house. Except they weren't for my mom. They were for my grandparents. I flipped through the pages, my pulse pounding in my ears. The documents were signed over years ago, before my dad had even died. He had taken my mom's name off the house. She was never supposed to have control of it. I felt sick. She must have found a way to cover it up, to take ownership illegally after he died. And now? Now she was trying to hide the evidence. I called my grandpa the second I could think straight. Jake. He sounded groggy, probably asleep. I found something. I said, my voice barely steady. She was never supposed to have the house. Dad gave it to you and Grandma before he died. Silence. Then, a slow, heavy exhale. That son of a bitch. My grandpa muttered. I knew she did something shady, but I couldn't prove it. She must have forged documents or something. I said. Made it look like she had ownership so she could control it. But legally? She never had any right to it. Another pause. Then, Jake. Listen to me. You need to be careful. Something in his voice made my skin prickle. What do you mean? He sighed. Lisa, your mom, she doesn't just give up. And if she knows you have those papers, I swallowed hard. She'll come after me. I didn't want to believe it. But deep down, I already knew it was true. She wasn't trying to get back into the house because she cared. She was trying to protect herself. To cover her tracks. Because if I took these papers to a lawyer, I could ruin her. And something told me she knew that too. The next morning, I woke up to knocking on the door. Not banging. Not yelling. Just knocking. I already knew who it was before I even got up. I walked to the window, pulling the curtain back just a little. There she was. My mom. Standing on the porch, her arms crossed, her expression unreadable. For a second, I just stared at her. Then, slowly, I opened the door, but I didn't step aside. We stood there, facing each other. Neither of us spoke. Then, finally, she sighed. Jake. We need to talk. I clenched my jaw. We're talking. She glanced past me, into the house. Can I come in? I let out a sharp laugh. No. Her lips pressed into a thin line. You don't understand what you're doing, she said, her voice low. I felt my fists clench at my sides. No, I said. I think I understand perfectly. You lied. You stole from Dad. You took control of something that was never yours. And now that I have proof, you're scared. Her face darkened. Jake. I swear, if you take this to a lawyer, you'll what? I cut her off. She didn't answer. She just stared at me, her jaw tight, something dark in her eyes. And for the first time in my life, I realized. I didn't know her. Not really. Not the way I thought I did. Because the woman standing in front of me? She wasn't my mother. She was someone who had spent years lying to me. Manipulating me. Pretending I was an afterthought. When in reality, I was the one person who could destroy everything she built. I took a slow breath. You need to leave, I said. She didn't move. Jake. Now. Something flickered in her eyes, something sharp. Then, just as quickly, it was gone. She let out a slow breath, stepping back. But before she turned to leave, she gave me one last look. Cold. Calculated. Like she was already planning her next move. You'll regret this, she said quietly. Then she walked away. I shut the door, locked it, and exhaled. My hands were shaking. Because I knew she wasn't lying. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot.